Yeah, thank you. Right. Welcome back to the second part of this afternoon, this day for the afternoon. I hope you had a good lunch. We're gonna continue now with variation, and if I'm correct, it's the demo now, right? I've done the presentation before, and now we have the demo. So for this demo, we are going to look at one gene, which is MCM6. We're going to find variants in the gene, look at the wider region, and then finally add one variant with this ID in the gene. And this is a dbSNP ID. So the demo starts in page 32 of your course book, if you'd like to follow. I start by searching for the human gene. MCM6. And go to the gene tab. And you can see there's on the gene tab in the menu on the left, there's a section dedicated to genetic variation. We're going to visit the variant table first, which is this item. And this is a big table summarizing all the short variants of the gene. Let's see if that loads in a moment, otherwise we will go somewhere else first. Okay, we'll go somewhere else first. I've preloaded a page with a now it's loading. Okay, so this table summarizes all the variants in the gene with our variant ID in the first column, then the location, the alleles, the most severe consequence of that variant, and then towards the right, pathogenicity predictions. We can't see any results for these variants because they're all in the 3' UTR. So if you wanted to see pathogenicity predictors, you have to apply a filter to the table, and you can choose from a variety of options at the top. You can filter by SIFT and polyphen scores using these sliders. And then you get only results in that region. For example, you can sort columns of the table by clicking on the header of the column. And you can also combine various filters. So there's another one here for global minor allele frequencies. These are the second most common allele frequencies from the 1000 Genomes project. You can also filter for consequence types. These are all the options that you have. It's cut off on the screen a little bit. There are more on the right-hand side. So you can deselect some, or you could switch everything off and then just some of them on, say missense variance, and click apply. And now I've opted for combining two filters. And you can see that you have applied a filter by these green X's here. If you want to remove that again, you click on the X. Okay, yeah.
There's a part in the table that says elements and there are different graphics. And one it says frequency, and for example, the other one's like genomat, 1000 genomes. What's the difference between frequency and the other structures? Where does this frequency come from?
I think that's the combination. That's all variance. Yeah, that is all variance for which we have frequency data, independent of which project it comes from. So it can be 1000 genomes, it can be Nomad, it can be EXAC, and others. I think if you add these numbers up, you may come to that. Total of 13,000. Yeah. More questions here? Okay, so this is the short variance in a table format. You can look at those on the sequence view as before, as we've done in the morning as well. So if you click on sequence now in the menu on the left, and then configure the page to see variance. So you select show variance, yes, they will load onto this view. This takes a long time because there are many variants. So I have this page preloaded for this gene, and it looks like this. So in addition to my exons, which are labeled in red and yellowish background, I now have variants added to this page. They have a separate legend here for the variants. You can see that here in my exon, for example, I've got missense variants, which are shown in yellow, and then here this is all intron, so I've got blue intronic variants, and so on. All of these are hyperlinked, so you can click on them and you get a little pop-up window with the variant ID, and then you can go into the variant tab and explore this variant in more detail. This is again just short variants. For the structural variants, we have the structural variant view under genetic variation in the menu. We differentiate two types of structural variants. The smaller ones, shown here, represent one variant described in one study. So if you bring up a pop-up window here, you can see this variant has an ID and it was described in this study here. In contrast, for the larger structural variants, we condense multiple ones into one of these blocks. So this purple one here is a copy number variation. If you click on that, you will see that this has been described in 20 different studies, which we don't show separately. And yeah, they are linked out to PubMed. Okay, so that's the gene and the transcript tab, the gene tab. I would like to show you the phenotypes as well. So here, just above the genetic variation, you have the phenotype page on the gene tab. And that has 3 tables. The first one summarizes phenotypes, diseases, and traits associated with the gene you are looking at. Here it's lactose intolerance, and that association comes from MIM morbid, as you can see here on the right hand side. So that's Mendelian inheritance of men. It's a database for inherited diseases. The second table shows associations with variants in the gene. We have lactose resistance coming up, but also BMI, hip circumference, and cholesterol. And the last table on this page is important for comparative purposes. So this shows associations of the gene, this gene in other species. Here it's for rat and mouse. And these tables have links to the sources of the data. So now I'm going to go to the location tab by just clicking on that tab. And look at variants in the wider region here. In this view, which should look familiar to you now, we have 2 variant tracks which are on already. One is this one here for 1,000 genomes, all SNPs and indels. In this track, all of these lines are individual variants which were found in the 1,000 genomes project. There's a legend at the bottom, again with the colors, and you can click on them and get to the pop-up window as well. There's another track with a phenotype associated variants just below that. I will add another one from the 1000 Genomes project. So I click on configure this page. And I could go here into the variation section and search for it, but instead of doing that, I will just type in the name into the search box. So 1000 genomes. And you can see there are quite a few. I will go for this one here, 1000 genomes, all common short variants. And if you wonder what common means, you can click on the information button and it tells you that these have a frequency of at least 1%. I close this window and the track loads onto my third picture. So now I've got this additional track here with my common variants, which are of course fewer than all variants. And yeah, you click on those and you get pop-up windows to go to the variant tab. I'm now going to look at an individual variant, and I will search for its ID directly. So I go back to the home page and type the ID in the search box, which is RS4988235. I get only one result because these are unique.